The lingering question that continues to divide anime fans: subbed or dubbed? In order to answer this question, I'm going to show you a few clips real quick.
I will not let you destroy my world!
I mean, that one wasn't so bad, but now watch this.
You want more, huh? Say hi to people in Jersey for me.
Ooh.
Shiidaki, haven't you ever realized that? All of your feelings are but a lie, they're all fake?
Am I a fake?
Be serious, you dumb girl. Do you really think you like me?
You're so mean. My feelings are not a fake.
My feelings are not a fake. Bye-bye. The point of those clips was just to show there's a spectrum of how good dubs actually are. Some are great, some suck. We'll touch on this more later. But you see, with this whole discussion between anime subbed versus dubbed, I think there's a fundamental question that we need to ask. It's not which is better, it's which do you prefer? It's no secret that anime is typically produced and written in Japan. This means that the Japanese version of a show is usually considered superior to a localization. And you know, if you held this perspective like 10 plus years ago, I would be right there with you. I'd absolutely agree. Not to mention you'd have like a whole catalog of evidence that you could show. Something that localizations can miss is that they can take the Japanese audio and completely put it in a whole new context. For example, there was that onigiri incident, and then it was translated into jam donuts, which I mean kind of makes sense, but is kind of weird.
Huh? Have a donut. That always cheers me up. Pika pika!
These donuts are great. Jelly-filled are my favorite. Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
Listen, man, I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
The very nature of translation means culturally informed nuances can easily be missed, meaning that there's a lot more room for error. So I guess what sub supporters might say is that if you want an experience that best mirrors the original author's intent, sub is usually going to be the way to go. In saying this, dubbed anime has grown a lot in the last 10 years, and I personally think it's seen a dramatic lift in quality. Many animes, particularly popular animes, have respectable dubs. I mean, think about it. Attack on Titan, Naruto, Demon Slayer, One Punch Man. I mean, these are all pretty good dubs. And while we're arguing for the point of dubs, another thing to consider is to consider me, the lazy person. Sometimes I just can't be bothered reading. It's as simple as that. To watch anime, I need a level of focus that I don't need with other shows. And sometimes that's a no-go. I don't want to do that. Other times, reading the subtitles can actually draw me away from what I'm watching. And occasionally I have to rewind because I miss a few bits. In saying this, it can become second nature if you do watch enough anime. Truth be told, reading subtitles really isn't that big of a deal though. I'm just lazy. But over time, I have gotten used to it. But still, lazy. Or, you know, maybe I want something on while I'm doing the dishes or doing something around the house. I can't necessarily do subbed for that. I also know from experience that it's much easier to introduce people to anime if you show them a dubbed version. Sometimes people experiencing an anime in Japanese is just another barrier to entry. And when they hear anime in their native language, it opens up the whole medium for them. I mean, come on. Some dubs really aren't that bad. I recently watched Attack on Titan, and I absolutely love that dub. There's discourse online. People say that Eren's voice is annoying. I totally disagree. I think his voice ages with his character rather well. Good work, voice actor. Naruto Shippuden is just another example. I know I mentioned this before, but like Pain, Sasuke, Kakashi, Guy Sensei, Naruto himself, all these voices are absolutely iconic and worthy of being a part of Naruto. I don't consider the Naruto dub second best to the sub. I think they're both great for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? However, I ran into a huge problem recently with watching Attack on Titan. You see, I caught up to the dub and I ran out of episodes. That meant that for the last like 5 or 6 episodes of Attack on Titan, I needed to watch it in the sub, which to me isn't a big deal, but it's something to be mindful of. So if you can get used to watching stuff in subbed, you're gonna have a great bonus where you're gonna be able to watch all the content that's available to you, where not everything in anime is dubbed. There's also heaps of discourse around voice actors. There's a whole debate around that, whether sub voice actors are better than dub voice actors, yada yada. The truth is, personally, it depends on the show. When it comes to dubbed, I feel like there's 3 main categories. 1, a really good dub. Something that has unique characters with unique voices that you can really get behind and emotionally draws you in. The second is it just sounds like Pokemon. Seriously, there's a lot of dubs out there where for some reason they go with the same generic voices all the time and it kind of just ends up sounding like Pokemon.
Wowee! Another day in paradise as my overly enthusiastic self.
What is actually wrong with you? And the third, it's just terrible and generic. Personally, I don't want to knock any voice actors in particular, but from my own experience, whilst it might be intangible to quantify, I genuinely agree with the sentiment that Japanese voice actors are more expressive and bring more raw emotion to their role. Maybe it's also because in my own native language of English, when I hear people speaking it really emotionally, for some reason it just sounds really cringe. There's a level of intensity and expressiveness found in Japanese voiceovers, which I believe is not as pervasive in dubbed. So to come full circle real quick and answer the question, subbed or dubbed, it honestly really just depends on the show. But if you had to force me, all in all, I would say subbed is better. I'd hesitate to use the word superior, but I typically watch subbed more. It all comes down to your personal preference. So, the next time you hear a ding dong at your door and find yourself a victim to sub-elitists telling you that dubs are the worst thing ever, give them a kiss, tell them God loves them. If you have a bit of culture, you can tell them you have no enemies, and then gently slam the door in their face and watch whichever version you prefer. So, subbed or dubbed? What do you reckon? What are your thoughts on this? And what is the worst dubbed you've ever watched? A special thanks to Smaj1 for bringing this topic up in my last video. And if you're sitting there wondering, how do I get my friends into anime? Or if you're on the fence yourself about if you should even watch anime, I've got just a video specifically for you right here. Thank you so much for watching and have a fantastic day.